Hello guys, welcome back. I finally made it. So GGG kinda killed my 2 Divine Orb build and I wanted to recreate it, a better version. So I was trying and testing in the last few days a lot and I think it's ready to show it to you. And yes, one thing, please hit the like button and subscribe. It would mean a lot for me. Thank you. So let's do the shopping together. First is the amulet, it's really important. You want cost speed on it, all spell skills, mana and spirit. You can go lower on the mana if you don't find cheap enough. Next up is the rings. You want cost speed and mana on it and resist. But the cost speed is a must have. Both ring and the amulet, you can't miss this, so you need the cost speed. Next up, Sceptre. You need one with Malice, of course, and Spirit and maximum mana. You can't go lower than 70% Spirit. The next is the body armor. You need Spirit and resist on it. And of course the highest energy shield that you can get. And the total Spirit you need is 400, so try to calculate with the other items. On the boots, you need movement speed, of course, mana, and resist, and if you can get one with intelligence, that's fine. And energy shield, of course. The gloves is pretty important. You need the gain mana per enemy killed, preferably at 40. And of course you need mana on it, resist and energy shield. On the belt you want mana and resist. And last is the legendary focus. This gives you a lot of damage with the 12% spell damage per 10 spirit, so this is a must-have. For the jewels, I'm using the same jewels as last time. The important thing is you want your jewels. This is like a really bad one that I use here. There is not even area effect on it. Anyway. So like this one. The most important part, area effect, meta skill, and something with crit or spell damage or crit chance. I will put down all of them into the planner. So yeah, the two most needed one is the area effect and meta skill. The others are what you can find for cheap, that's all. And you need this one with +1. That's cheap too. So if we are calculating with 300 exalted for the jewels, we still not reached 2 divine orbs, so it's really cheap. We are at 489 exalted. Important info here. So when you hit level 78, you can start to transaction to this build. Because this build, you can do this at level 84. You can do tier 15s, you will see it later. But at level 78, trying to stick with the tier 14 maps and wait for the level 84. So you have your skills at level 19. That's really important. And under level 78, don't try this build, okay? So if you're level 60, no, you can't do it. This is a endgame starter. You can do this at... I mean, of course, there are versions that you can do tier 5 maps. I'm sure, but I only tested it from level 78. So we bought everything. And for the skills, so we use Ice Nova with magnified effect for area, arcane tempo. I use ambush because of the critical hit chance and the lighting penetration. We have more lighting damage than cold. It's really close at low tier gear. Later this will be a huge gap here. Because of Archmage, of course. And we don't use 5 slot, because that's really expensive. Custom critical. Use it with 1 comet. That's more than enough. We don't need Ice Hole anymore. Of course it was nerfed. So we use Inspiration for less mana cost. More energy. And I use Spell Echo because on the maps against the rare monsters it's better to have Spell Echo in. Because the trash mobs doesn't matter. You just kill them with Ice Snow. But if you have Spell Cascade in, then the rare monster die slower, so use Spell Echo. We have Archmage with Lighting Mastery and Clarity. Use Bessamy with Double Curse, Conductivity and Hypothermia. Link with Cooldown Recovery and Second Wind. This is for bosses. On the map bosses, they die really fast. You will see like 1 full mana is enough. Green Fist for more shield. This is doubles your shield, so we are running at almost 7k shield on the map. We have Eye of Winter. We use this for bosses because you can proc your custom critical more often. And I can even use it when you're doing the maps and there is a big horde with a rare monster. You just unleash one and you can proc custom critical and it will be much faster to kill everything on the map. So you can use this a lot of times, but you will see. Passive 3. So we use of course the shield nodes. We start with that. We try to have every crit node you can find. More shield, more crit. Of course the spell damage from maximum mana. Double curse. Crit nodes. Of course we use CI. And I'm using the full life nodes. This actually gives you a lot of damage. And in the maps, a lot of tier 50 maps you just one-shot everything with 1 Ice Nova. I even have the preemptive strike on my amulet. It's pretty cool. I will put everything into a panel with jewels. So let's see maps and bosses. So there is a playstyle here. I'm really used to it because I played this for a while now. But you need to move around a lot. Like you don't stop moving, just running around and attacking. You need to pay attention for the enemy. If everything is ranged, that's not the best. But it's still... You have 2 blink, 1 temporary rift, and the time stop. It's really hard to die, actually, if you just a little bit pay attention. And of course on the beginning on the map, when you only have your 3 cave shield, try to be a little bit cautious, but when you have your 7k because you killed mobs and pick up the shield, then you can just go and of course a little bit attention on the rare monsters and kinda that's all, as you can see it on the clip. This is a tier 50 simple map with level 79, but it can do more. So this map, this is a tier 15 plus 2 map, which is tier 17, and I wanted to see what the build can do. And, this was surprising actually. It went pretty well. And it's even a map that's really bad for us because it's too narrow and you love the bigger maps where you can run around. So this is not the best map for this build. And this is a under 2 diviner build on a tier 17 map, so... And even I messed it up because I don't have the double curse on my passive tree. I realized this later, so it would be even more faster than this. So few things, try to avoid plus 50 resist maps, but just avoid it. Don't need the unnecessary risk. And of course the monster penetrates 25% resist, that's also dangerous. Other than that, you can run every map at tier 50. So before you go to the boss, put your second wind into the temporary rift. That means you have 3 full mana pool actually. And of course disable Blasphemy. Put down your Sigil of Power and Conductivity. You can actually use Hypothermia if you want to be more safe, because you can freeze the boss much easier if you use Hypothermia. And then just spam Eye of Winter, and when you run out of mana, use Temporary Rift. And now here's a full 15 map for you with the boss. And you can do Pinnacle fights too, except the Delirium one. Please don't try similar outcome with 2 div build. But you can do Xesht and the Ritual one pretty easily. So again, Xesht. You can actually do it without changing anything, but just to be sure too, it's quick and fast. Get rid of your shield nodes. Get Mind Over Matter, Eldritch Battery, and get extra mana too. You can actually get rid of these, because you don't use this in a boss fight, but I just don't care, you don't need to. Important part is to disable Blasphemy and put concentrated effect into custom critical. You could actually do this on every boss, I forget to mention that. And of course your second wind into Temporal Rift. So as you can see, it's pretty quick. If you have a little bit lower gear, you can use Hypothermia and then the boss won't move. So it's pretty easy and simple. I think if you follow this guide and watch the full vid, you should be able to recreate this build without any problem. And I think this is a quite good build for a price, like under 2D orbs. And I really enjoy it. And I would like to ask you again to please subscribe to my channel, leave a like, it helps. So that's for today, guys. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye bye.